Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a story that's not really just about a company. It's about a number. A number so unbelievably massive that it's actually forcing us to rethink, well, the entire global economy. $5 trillion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is more than the entire GDP of countries like Japan or Germany. And as of this week, it's the mind-blowing market value of just one company, Nvidia.
Okay, so this isn't just a record, right? It's a brand new peak in financial history. Let's unpack exactly how Nvidia managed to climb this mountain, and more importantly, what it means for all of us living down here in its shadow.
So reaching this number really does put Nvidia in a league of its own. Think about it this way. It took the company 24 years to hit its first $1 trillion in value, but it took them just over 8 months to jump from $2 trillion to $5 trillion. How is that even possible? The momentum here has just been relentless. We're talking about the stock jumping 5% one day, then another 3% the very next day to finally push it over that $5 trillion line. And for the year, it surged over 50%. This isn't just growth, folks. This is a straight-up vertical launch.
All right, so what's the engine that's powering this $5 trillion rocket ship? Well, the answer is all about a fundamental, a total transformation of what this company even is.
Nvidia's journey is honestly one of the greatest pivots in tech history. For decades, their whole thing was making graphics cards for gamers, that's it. But it turns out that the very same technology needed to make video games look amazing, well, it was also perfectly suited for the insane calculations needed for AI. They didn't just find a new market, they pretty much discovered they had accidentally built the keys to the future. So how did this pivot actually turn into a $5 trillion company? Look, this isn't just hype. It's a combination of massive, very real demand and some incredibly smart strategic moves. And the pillars holding this whole thing up, they are immense. First off, you've got the demand, a staggering $500 billion in expected orders for their AI chips. Then there's infrastructure. They're literally building the backbone of national AI with new supercomputers for the US government. And finally, they're already looking to the future, investing $1 billion in Nokia to get a head start on 6G. And to really grasp the scale here, you have to look at the competition. Nvidia has now pulled ahead of absolute giants like Apple and Microsoft. Companies that have defined our digital world for decades. This isn't just about leading the pack anymore. They are lapping the pack. Right now, Nvidia is all alone at the top. But, okay, a rise this fast, this steep, it inevitably brings up a huge question. Is this the real foundation of a brand new technological era? Or is it just a spectacular bubble that's waiting to pop? And that's the debate that's raging across Wall Street right now. The experts, they are deeply, deeply divided on this. So on one side, you have the cautious voices, and these are some of the world's biggest financial watchdogs. We're talking the IMF, the Bank of England, and they've both warned that the entire global market is now so hooked on this AI enthusiasm that if things cool off even a little bit, it could trigger a huge downturn. They see a real systemic risk here. But then, on the other side of the coin, you've got influential tech investors like Cathie Wood, and she's arguing this isn't a bubble at all. For her and others like her, what we're seeing is the dawn of a new industrial revolution, one that's powered by AI. And this $5 trillion valuation, that's not the peak, that's just the starting gun. So, when you boil it all down, this whole story is about so much more than just one company's stock chart. Nvidia's valuation has basically become a stand-in for one of the most important questions we're facing about our economic future. And that, right there, is the $5 trillion question we want to leave you with. Is this number the foundation of a totally new AI-driven economy, or is it a massive warning sign of a bubble about to burst? The answer to that is going to define the next decade of tech and finance. Thanks so much for joining us.